I realize there's two different ways to approach things in my life when I have challenges. And they're two entirely different strategies, actually. And one of them is pretty obvious, right? We all do it. It's like, okay, so something comes into our life and it's not as the way we would like it to be. So we do what we can to change it, whether it's improve our life or get away from something or, go for that thing that we want to do, whatever it is. We work on the outside, we go there, we try to fix it, we try to work it out, we try to improve it. Now, this is awesome, right? This is good. It's good to do this to some degree. Now, the bigger thing, though, that I didn't realize until much later in life is that if I can just be okay with some of those problems, or if I'm fundamentally okay with all of them, I could be, in theory, then that's the other solution. So there's two solutions. There's one, fix them, and then the other one is allow them to be there. And allowing them to be there is actually one that we very rarely see. We just see the problem and we resist it, and then we contract, and then it continues to further be a problem. But mostly the problem is the internal resistance. Now, this is not always the case, but for the majority of our problems, it is actually, for at least a huge handful of them. So we can just be okay with these problems until we die, essentially. We can let them go, and then we will let them go way before we die. But if we come to it from that understanding that, hey, like this might be here, and if I just allow it in and I release that contraction, my experience is going to be a lot better. I can actually do something about this thing. Or I can do something about this thing if I really wanted to, but it's easier just to relax into it. So this is not like about being apathetic. This is not about closing the doors, on how you participate in life. Not at all. This is just like a gift to yourself. Like, oh, okay, I accept this for what it is. I can't change it. I just got to be okay with my problems until I die, at least some of them, and that's the solution. That is the solution. The solution isn't fixing them. The solution isn't, banging your head against the wall because they won't change and you don't accept them. The solution is dropping the resistance, and allowing. It's like a forgiveness, it's like a deep forgiveness, because we are really truly creating our world around us. I mean, yes, there is an objective reality too. We can't say that here we are just completely not there. Like, there is this thing that we're interacting with. However, we're putting a veil over top of it. We're putting a huge appearance on top of it, and that appearance is really mostly what we're struggling with. That appearance is what actually hurts us way more than the outside world actually hurting us. We're doing it to ourselves with our resistance to it for the most part. And this is humble. This is truly humble. This is like really looking at yourself, taking inventory, and being discretionary around, what am I creating? What am I doing? How am I feeling? And then, what can I allow? And this goes for allowing things outside too, like allowing people to be who they are, not just allowing us to be who we are, or just allowing situations to be as they are. It's a full, deep allowance. This kind of, I prefer reality to be as it is. This is incredible power. This is very, very deep, mystical, but very practical and very normal, should be normal power that we all have. It's this allowance, this understanding that I can give this to myself. I can relax into life. I can allow it. I can be okay with my problems while they're still there, and then not feeding them, not entertaining them. They will fall away, because an ignored guest quickly leaves. If we stop entertaining these things within us that cause us to feel all this pain and this contraction and this hurt, then we can basically walk through life in a way that is truly awesome, in the sense that we're in awe of the experience as it is directly. This letting go, this deep letting go of what it is that we describe the world to be, these problems that we create for ourselves, this is what we're here to do. This is what we're doing here. Because we're getting in tune with what we are, which is not this myriad, this appearance of challenges, of problems on top of us. We are actually underneath and beyond all that. And that situation that we see that can feel very real to us. And this is not to dishonor or invalidate our feelings, but it's to recognize that there's a part of us that knows life already as it is objectively. It prefers reality as it is. It has a understanding that there's something much bigger than itself. There's something much bigger than me. And what is happening outside of me that I perceive, I allow that to happen. I allow that to be there. And then if I really need to make change and do something about it, then I do. But first, this allowance. Action should all be preceded by an allowance and then an action. And people might think, okay, well, how can you take action if you don't have a preference, if you just allow? Well, there's still some type of personal preference, but the personal preference is way smaller than the preference that knows that things are okay already as they are, and that we are here okay already. And just nurturing this understanding, nurturing this frame. Because this brings us out of victimhood, this brings us out of any type of attack on others. You know, this allowance is the biggest way to improve our life situation and how we feel about it. And then we make changes from there. And we can still make changes when there's some level of some part of us would wish things to be different. This is not to say that you can just not have individual preferences. I still do. I prefer all kinds of things. But what I do prefer the most is the allowance of reality as it is. So I do have my pulls and my aversions, but there's a deeper understanding that sinks into experience always, all the time. It's a constant becoming of allowing things to be there as they are. This is my trajectory. This is what I'm always moving towards, deeper and deeper and deeper. And of course I go off track and I get pulled into some version of resistance, some version of craving, or something that's pulling me towards an experience different than what I'm experiencing right now. It happens all the time, but the default is to come back to understanding that allowance is what I truly want and truly need, and that is what fuels me. That is my true nature. That is how I feel the most myself. And then integrate that into my personal experience as much as I can. So we let go, right? We let go of a lot of the things that we think we need or the things we need to change, because we realize they're just conditionings. Most of that is programmings. Most of the things that I see in the world as wrong are my own inner programmings, like the majority of them. And it's very easy to look at the world and not think this way, because it seems like there's a lot of chaos going on. And on some level it is, but what fuels that chaos is this resistance on an individual level, on an inner level. So there's a collective evolution happening where we're all in a state of more and more becoming and allowing and then fully participating. But it's a slow, rocky process. But individually, this is our part. This is the evolution that we can each do. So yeah, I mean, it's actually a sweet thing to get into. It's good work, right? It's great work, and it comes with all the unfolding of our stuff and the unmaking of the things within us that are our responsibility. But we're not to blame for them, right? There's no credit here. There's no blame here. It's just that we're each doing our part, and everyone's doing their part, and we forgive others because we realize that we're doing our part just like they're doing their part, and they're messing up just like we're messing up, and we're all kind of trying to figure it out, But this compassion, this understanding, this allowance, this preferring things to be as they are is kind of the core foundation to create positive change. This doesn't stop change. This actually just fuels change in the right way. If we don't allow, then we're the least qualified person to be dealing with it in the way that is going to be the most beneficial for all beings. Like, there's going to be some deep personal narrative in there that's going to create more distortions and create more, things revolving in the ping pong loop of conflict. So yeah, we just have to do our part individually, and do it by demonstrating it, do it by showing it, and this is the journey that we're all on. It's good work. It's great. I mean, we just have to look for those contractions within ourselves. We have to look for those resistances. It's very simple. It's very somatic. And we just go about our daily life, and this is our practice. This is a lifestyle change. It's like people get into diet, or they get into all kinds of things. Get into getting to having a mental shower every day, like go through yourself and take inventory and be like, okay, where am I contracting unnecessarily? You know, what can I do here and what can I not do here? What can I allow here? You know, what's worth my effort? What's worth feeling hurt over? Do we want this for ourselves? Ask ourselves these questions. These are very deep, important questions that, like, we should ask ourselves if we really care about ourselves, and because this is the work that only we can do.